You know, it's interesting. Been all of America getting us on the ballot, the Constitution Party on the ballot. And it was 1988, a gal named Penny Poland in Chicago, a state representative, who put me on Howard's mailing list. And I started receiving information from Howard and letters from Howard and started corresponding with this gentleman. Now, didn't have a chance to meet him before he started his party in 1992, but I got a letter from him saying, we're going to build a new political party in 1992. Come down to New Orleans and join us. Well, at that time, I was still helping Republicans get elected in Illinois. I wasn't seeing the vision yet. I did believe that we could still change it from the inside out, not knowing it's like going to a dumpster to get a good piece of toast. I realize now it's time to get a fresh loaf of bread to make your toast, and that's what exactly we're doing with the Constitution Party. You know, it's interesting. Tom said something about these politicians who don't make these laws and they work real hard to get reelected. Why? Because they couldn't live or survive under the laws that they passed. That's why they stay in office. And the taxpayers' dollars, basically simple. Taxpayers' dollars in the hands of a politician is just as dangerous, as reckless as heroin and junkie's needle. And that's exactly what happened. We have politicians shooting up their heroin, called their money, your money, stealing and robbing from you. Howard has an interesting story. But let me finish what happened, how we met him to actually build a party. My father was dying in 1996. Went to my father's hospital room and I had my Go Pack Go hat on. And my dad said, son, we disagreed about two things in our whole life, religion and politics. I realized when my time's almost up, he died 2 days later, he said, you've been right about both of them. I said, come on, Dad, thank you very much. He said, no, that guy right there, that hat, that guy ought to be president. I said, I can't do much, Dad. He said, you know what, son? I know you can do something. You helped believe me, and you changed my mind. You can do something about it. I called Howard that day, back within the next 5 or 10 minutes. I said, Howard, I'm ready to build a party in Illinois. He said, first words, you don't have much time, and you're going to need some money. And he's right. I didn't have much time. I had 6 weeks to organize it, and had 90 days to get a petition drive with 55,000 signatures done. And I had to raise funds. And let me tell you, it's not easy when you have people saying, oh, you got to stay in the Republican Party, and all your friends and neighbors and relatives are saying, oh, you're still got to be a Republican now. And I left it, lost all my friends, contacts, and associates, and they weren't friends, then they weren't contacts, and they weren't associates. They didn't care. All they had a vision of the Republican Party. They forgot about the word called freedom and liberty. Illinois is a socialist state of the United States, and so is Massachusetts. But let me tell you, we did it. We got him on the ballot in '96. And I remember when Pat Buchanan went to his gathering in California, in San Diego. And I saw Bay in the beginning. Well, I had a chance to have an audience with Bay and Pat. That weekend, my father died on Tuesday. He was flying in town on Saturday. I met with him and his supporters, and I brought my entourage of supporters as Howard helped me get connected with him. And he asked me, if you put him on the ballot in Illinois, I'll leave the Republican Party. Well, I decided, okay, I told him, I promise you, I guarantee you. He never met me from Adam, didn't know who I was, didn't know what my kind of spirit I had or what I've been doing. But we did get the job done. And in California, I went to go see him at the Performing Arts Center in San Diego. I saw Bay at the entrance. She said, you're not going to like his decision. I said, Bay, I realized one thing. It wasn't for him. It was for my future grandchildren's freedom. He was just a vehicle to wake me up. I walked into the Performing Arts Center. I saw, you just tell him I delivered, and my word's my honor. He's up in the box seats. He looks at me, gives me a thumbs up. I thought maybe he's going to make a decision to leave the Republican Party because he said, Illinois is key. Well, we sat down, and the first speaker was Oliver North. Great speaker, great talker, great thinker, I think, in our society. But he started talking Republican rhetoric again. I started saying, go Pack Go, so loud, the whole 3,200 people started chanting, go Pack Go. He had to walk off the stage because we were too loud for him to be heard. Next one's Phyllis Schlafly, Eagle Forum. She's on stage again, she's talking about build a Republican Party. I started chanting, go Pack Go, so loud. Again, she had to leave. Pat comes on stage. And he's a great speaker, a lot of great rhetoric, but he did say something that bothered me right in that one moment. It says, in the next 8 weeks, we're going to build a bridge from us to the Republican Party. I looked at him, stood up as loud as I could, forget you, so loud, they couldn't hear a pin drop. I took my hand and said, forget you, I'm out here, let's go. My family left with me and walked out, and all the press was coming around saying, what happened? I said, this man's a liar. Liars lie. Thieves steal, murderers kill. I will never trust that person again. He lied to me. I put my life, my fortune, and my sacred honor on the line to build an independent party in Illinois, and I had a man who lied to me. This gentleman will not lie to you. Howard is probably the most honorable man I know. Interesting, I interviewed him in World Net Daily in 1998. The honorable politician, the last honorable politician. Howard's not a politician, he's a statesman. He was involved in Massachusetts politics. He was helping Eisenhower get, remember 11 years old, you're helping Eisenhower? Then you like Nixon? And then he got involved in Nixon's administration. To promise to close a couple departments. And I wish Howard, because this would turn me on about Howard, what he had to walk into to see the communist-controlled departments that he was supposed to close down, and what were they flying? They were flying communist flags and Che Guevara pictures and things that we know are communists in the department he was the head of. And Howard, please tell him about that. I think they don't have the vision that we had to go through. That's what turned me on to this man. He stood up for freedom, and he realized that he had to do something about it. When Nixon, you tell him the story about Nixon. I can't. You have a better story. You were there. And he's good at it too. But let me tell you, he's got a great family. His son is Doug Phillips, down in Florida, Texas. A great leader also. But what Howard has done for us is given us an opportunity to stand up for freedom. Let me tell you, if it wasn't for Howard, I wouldn't be here. He mentored me in many ways that you would never know. My goal is to mentor other men. Our philosophy is to teach a leader to become a teacher, and teach a leader to become a teacher. Teach him. And we got to teach him. We can't wait for somebody to show up. Remember, my son's mother said to me, well, why are you doing all this? Why do you wait for somebody else to show up and do it? And I just looked at her and basically said, what if that person didn't show up? When you're given the torch of freedom, you are supposed to run with it. That's right. You don't hide it underneath a basket. Say, oh no, I got to protect my basket here. You let the light shine. You're going to get some tomatoes. I've been attacked already, many times. Been threatened. Been arrested. You know what? What's it all for? For your future grandchildren's freedom. You might. My son's only 19 in a college in Indiana, and he knows Howard personally. Let me tell you, Howard's a great guy to go to a baseball game to, or a zoo, or going out for dinner, or just chatting and having a good time. He loves life, and I hope you realize, even though he's fighting for freedom, he loves life as much. He loves his Lord. He was born and raised Jewish, and he became a born-again Christian. Now, that's a great story in itself. In Massachusetts, there he also was the Republican chairman of the Boston Republican Party. Leadership, again, leadership shown. He's a graduate from Harvard University in 1962. Now, sit there and enjoy the time Howard speaks, because he enlightened me. He turned me on years ago. And I hope he does the same thing with you. Howard?